Welcome back, boys, to RMTS, whatever the hell the number is. Um, I've had one insane week for the past week, so I apologize we didn't end up having an episode last week. I had to deal with massive amounts of stuff all of Thursday and all of Friday,
I mean,
and
also
half of
with the
fucking
show,
Wednesday too.
there's like
But
it's like there's nothing worth covering, so we'll just catch it up, and that also gives more opportunity for like, oh, but we might have a guest, and then it'll be better. So we're just chilling.
yeah, no, and that's exactly what we were aiming for. But with how chaotic and everything got last week, it was like, oh, let's just take a break, take a day, and just be okay, and get it back together and see exactly what happens. And I have some crazy stories to go on about, so we're gonna have some fun. But how's everything going with you, buddy?
The first thing I want to say is I'm streaming on Kick. That's going to be the all in because their partner program's actually pretty good. So any of my audience that's here that's like subburned from the main channel and everyone that's broken up and specifically you Dark Knight Huron, since you just have the compulsion to donate to us, go sub over there. That's where you are allowed to donate something. And then same thing
Yeah,
for everyone else. Like throw the subs there. I want to get 100 subs on Kick, and then because they have a 95-5 split, it's just way better than Twitch, which just takes half your money. So it's like
yeah,
one of those things. Get 100 on Kick, play Pokemon, League of Legends, and Minecraft, and I think that's going to be the play.
yeah. You have discoverability on YouTube and Kick right now, and Twitch is just burning everybody with giving everything to Hassan and Frogan and all of these
Well, it's
people
been
that
that
they.
way for 5 years, which why never stream on Twitch? Yeah, Twitch. And then it's also just rigged that, they're allowed to break the TOS. I saw a clip of Frogan saying like horrible things about someone that's even worse than what Tectone said about her. She got like a 1 day ban or something.
The thing that Tectone called her out for, she didn't get banned at all,
Mm.
which
Oh.
was the quote about PTSD. And it's just like,
No, no, I
I
thought she
made a
called someone
comment.
like an ugly bee.
Yeah, I know that this comment I commented on Twitter about. I'm like, dude, you have no fucking right to be able to say anything. Hold on, I'll read exactly what the hell she said. But the shit makes no fucking sense.
Hmm.
People just want to run their mouth
I
and
thought
run
she
their
got
mouth.
1 day for something. That's also just everyone else. Like, oh, Hassan gets a 1 day for calling for terrorism, and then everyone else gets permad.
Yeah, so she said that 9/11 was America's fault, which
That's just copying
okay,
Hassan.
you may be able to see that, but whatever. And then that anybody who enlists in the American military should get PTSD.
Hmm.
And she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to say that. I misspoke." And then everybody brought up the timestamps that she said it 4 or 5 times. And then she's like, "No, guys, I really didn't say it. What are you talking about?" And she she then tagged Ethan Klein and said, "Does Ethan Klein know that Islamophobia, to call a Muslim person anti-Semitic for every little thing they do?" Meanwhile, she's saying that it's, you know,
Hmm.
oh, fucking idiot. So I said, have a personality other than hate and wishing people mental illness or pain, and maybe a conversation would be equal. But nope, still a gaslighting idiot. And damn,
Yeah.
people liked that
But
one.
because of like Tectone insulting her appearance and getting too weak, it's like, well, she insulted other people's appearance and was even nastier to like other women streamers. So that should be like the equivalent of she gets a too weak, but never. Twitch has too many politics, and I'm I'm just like, yeah,
And it,
downfall. Cool. Let's
I
go
don't
Kick.
like that they completely fish into one side too. Like if they went both to the extremes on both sides and they were completely open on both sides, I would be kind of understanding. Hey, we're just going to keep every shit disturber around. But you showing your own politics and just accepting one side is really fucking gross to me.
Well, that's how all social media is, except for X, where it's just like, yeah, if you left, you're allowed to be as heinous as you want on the left, but you're not allowed to be even like a little bit to the right. Get out of here, GG.
Yeah, it's getting weird, man. I don't know if you saw the shit in between Ethan Klein and IDubbz and Hassan and all that shit that's gone on, but that shit's fucking insane. It's just getting crazier and crazier as the days go on. So first off, has to come out in support of the boy Harley, leaving Creator Clash and telling them to go fuck themselves, I assume.
I saw that. I just didn't know the drama behind it. I was like, oh, Harley's leaving. They must have fucked up.
So Ethan came out with a essentially like a content nuke on Hassan of like, hey, you're essentially some level of, cult leader and you're kind of fucking up the youth and you're causing massive fucking problems because of the things you say, which not wrong, crazy. And then Hassan and IDubbz made a content cop. I guess that was a character that IDubbz did for the longest time where it was like
How do
an
you not
edgy
know Content
character.
Cop? That's like the content of pre-dead internet YouTube. That's like you had Leafy doing his rants, and you had iDubbbz with his Content Cop until they like imploded on each other. That was YouTube.
I didn't watch any of that shit. I didn't watch Drama Alert. I didn't care.
Oh damn, that shit was
I had
fire back in the
kids.
day.
I had kids. That was kind of more important.
Boo.
Working kids, no internet. It was a shitty cycle at that point, but
You missed prime YouTube.
I did. I did. Definitely went back and watched all those Mail Mondays, but that's about it. But yeah, I guess all that shit happened, and iDubbz kind of went over the line of like kind of being way too edgy towards like anti-Semitic shit.
Mm. I
Like
didn't
his
know that that's where the backlash come because I watched the Content Cop and I'm just like, well, Ethan is also a garbage person and Hassan's a
yeah,
garbage person and then everyone's bad. And I was like, kind of like, yeah, you don't need to do the whole Palestine thing, Ethan, or not Ethan, iDubbz. So like, I was like, you could have just gone against Ethan and been fine, but instead you're just taking the terrorist side. So I guess that could also be problematic, and then that relates into creator clash. So makes sense, I guess.
yeah. So obviously, I think that he was doing things kind of tone deaf. Like
Hmm.
he's not
I see. I
like
wasn't too offended by it, but I could see it being tone deaf instead of just like
yeah,
insulting.
exactly. And like if you're gonna make jokes and have fun at somebody's expense, go ahead. I think everybody kind of has the availability to do that. Poke and have some fun. It's a good fucking time. I completely agree. But when you're going out of your way to absolutely be ignorant to both sides, it kind of
Hmm.
feels dumb, especially in a situation like Israel and Palestine where it is so not one sided. Both sides are kind of wrong and both sides are kind of right in different fucking ways. So if you're sitting there sticking your head in the sand and saying that they absolutely cannot be right, they're kind of blind. And that's the shitty part. Because
Hmm.
like there's rights and logic on both sides. But I guess that turned into him having to get rid of Creator Clash. He had to release his entire hand of it, and that has fallen as well as his main event, which was absolutely insane watching that collapse as well.
That's because you can't take like the side of straight anti-Semites and terrorist supporters. So yeah, yeah, I can see the misplay.
Well, I don't understand why, if you're trying to run a business, why you kind of just hug up to people like Hassan,
Hmm.
who
Grift.
Hassan's
That's why.
on the screen. He's not really going to bring as many people as you assume he's going to bring. That's not how that
Hmm.
works. He just isn't like, go watch
Well,
this.
it was mostly just to piss off Ethan. Like, Ethan is really going to get butt mad if Hassan is there mocking him in an iDubbz video, regardless of what it brings to the audience. That's like how when KSI versus Skydo's Minecraft, when like KSI brought his ex into the picture, like that's not going to get any more audience. That's just going to score points because your goal is to fucking make someone mauled. So that definitely made that like hurt Ethan. That is emotional damage directly to Ethan, but it cost iDubbz
Absolutely.
everything.
So yesterday, Hassan posted it's content nuke day, reacting with friends to my career ending while fundraising for iDubbz charity Stand Up to Cancer. So Stand Up to Cancer is literally the Creator Clash 3 component. So it's all of the charity from what everybody has found. There is no guarantee of ticket or pay-per-view sales directly going to charity. So anybody who kind of had the look at the back end was like, this is disgusting. We're not going to be a part of this. Fuck this.
Yeah, it just seems like the last ditch but charity kind of play.
Yeah. So prior to this announcement, Ian and Anissa raised $18,000 outside of the $15,000 contribution by Ian. When you buy a ticket for Creator Clash 3, your money goes towards event costs like the previous years, and only the excess goes to charity. Like last year, there was no excess. Ian and Anissa added this Tiltify donate link separately to eBeg for donations so that way they could call their event a charity event. The money Hassan inevitably raises outside of Creator Clash 3 event today on stream will be used to justify the event's existence despite not actually having anything to do with it. So they're not only using Hassan in the content cop, but also using his fan base as a way to accept donations for Creator Clash. And then they were rightfully removed completely from the entire thing within minutes.
Hmm.
And it's just like, you guys really thought an edgelord was going to do this
Yeah, they
appropriately?
saw through it, and it's like the socialist grifter is going to fundraise. Let's go.
It's just like, this is stupid. This is fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been gone. Why was there a Creator Clash 3 after all the problems with Creator Clash 2? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I think that
Yeah,
was supposed to be the comeback. Like, you drop the content cop, you get everyone loving you again. Boom, big cash out. You don't have
it
to
was
worry about money for the next 4 years.
it was funny after everything happened and it crashed that he left Creator Clash. Brendan Buckingham started posting saying I'll fight anybody on Creator
Yeah, I
Clash.
saw that.
Sam Hyde, he's like, come on, bring back
Mm-hmm.
Sam Hyde, bring back Froggy Fresh. Everybody that was banned from Creator Clash. Come on, let's
That's the
take
only
over
thing
the
that can
card.
save it.
And I was like, guys, I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just you guys were fucked over for no fucking reason. Now all of a sudden you guys are like, nah, now it's
Mm-hmm.
ours. Now it's actually what
Exactly.
Creator Clash should be. Creator Clash shouldn't have been just a whole bunch of dudes' friends being like, okay, let's
But that's all the
make
internet is. Like, you have to be on the whitelist. If you've ever done anything slightly naughty, you're permabanned forever, or else its appearances are just bad.
it's fucking stupid. It doesn't fucking
Well,
make
that's
any
been the
damn
world for
sense.
the last over a decade.
Well, yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's fucking stupid in the way that it portrays itself here. Like, if you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do Creator Clash and you're gonna do a boxing match, do I want to fuck up my friend or do I want to fuck up somebody I don't fucking like? Like, it doesn't make any damn
Mm-hmm.
sense to me. I want a boxing match with somebody, number one, that's relatively similar build to me, and that I don't like. Why would I want to go fight somebody I like? Why would I be like Verlis, Woody, one of our
Mm-hmm.
friends, be like, yeah, I'm gonna fight you? Uh, yeah, we could put on money because we can jar back and forth. But if I don't like the person, my mouth is gonna run so much fucking harder. I don't get it. I don't understand this whole business model of like, let's fight our friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. It's stupid. And watching fucking Brandon Buckingham absolutely eat Myth alive, that shit was hilarious.
Why
Myth,
is my camera blurry? I have focus turned off.
you're not blurry on my end.
Oh, okay, good.
It's probably just your internet connection. I know there's a whole shit ton of weather going on.
Mm-hmm. Or
Obviously,
I got really upset. And also, you never know which side. Like, it could look bad on my side, even though I'm fine. It's just this program. I got.
the server side is all that matters. Like
Mm-hmm.
we could look
Good.
like shit to each other as long as the server side catches
Oh,
it.
you
We're
look
good.
pristine. That's why I'm confused. That's why I thought it was
Yeah,
me.
no, my camera fucks up more often than other people's, which is weird. But yeah, I'm thoroughly happy that everybody's kind of fighting to get this thing back because it was kind of weird that they just segregated people not being able to fight. So this shit happened. I think it dropped yesterday. Did you see the GTA announcement that it got delayed again and then got a release date and then we got a trailer today or yesterday or
I
whatever?
didn't see the trailer or care about that. I just heard like it's delayed until May 7th or 6th next year.
Yeah, which is
Whatever.
interesting. It's interesting that it got delayed another year when they're saying essentially it's gold. How does that work?
How long has this game been confirmed in development?
Let's see. I know GTA 6 took longer than all of the other GTA games combined to make.
Combined?
Yes. Uh, it took, why can't, how long? It's been in development 13 years between the release of GTA 5 and GTA 6. And obviously, you're probably going to be halfway through the start of the dev year during the beginning of GTA 5.
Well, that's like assuming they were already working on it when GTA 5 released. Like it does make sense if they're cycling the game, but like that long on a game is just it just I can't be bothered to care.
It's absolutely insane when I saw that stat of like GTA 6 has taken more time than all the other GTAs to make, and it's like, holy God, that's fucking insane. How the fuck do you have any business model at that point? Yeah, so the first game, GTA 3, which was the first not top-down shooter, I'm gonna
Hmm.
hop in a taxi, came out in 2001, and then this does not have when GTA 5 came out. So using rough math, 12 years, it came out in 2013. So that's a 13-year life
Well, I don't
cycle.
think like that doesn't sound like exactly development. That just sounds like from GTA 3 to 5 is 5 to 6. Because again, like
No,
development time is going to be not
yeah,
that linear.
it's slightly different, but like
Hmm.
as a whole, that's fucking insane. How the fuck does that work that you're just going to have that big of a disparity from like literally console changing games? You have games like Vice City and San Andreas, which absolutely changed the kind of landscape that people accepted in gaming. The 4 and 5 that kind of still has changed the aspect of how we play games
I just
with
wonder like
things
how
like
6 can be so revolutionary.
so this is I guess where my confusion comes with things. You can only upgrade graphics so much.
Hmm.
You can only increase and make the engine so realistic because people still want those GTA physics of I'm going to randomly jump off things and I'm going to take this fucking bike or this car and I'm going to jump off
Hmm.
that hill and hope that I can land over there. So like obviously they're not going to go hyper realistic with absolutely everything. So how many things did they pack into this to make it look as good as they possibly can, but not make it so that way it doesn't feel like GTA? And I don't feel like there's that much that they genuinely could do.
That's what I mean.
There's
It's like the most
polish,
they can do is modern GTA 5.
yeah, which people have already done.
Hmm.
People have already done it. Like what are we talking about here? Like there's RP servers that, run maps that are completely almost custom. I was a part of one for like 6, 7 months. It was fun as hell. I just played a Dom Toretto character and it was hilarious. What, you weren't part of any of those conversations? Me and Ippo and all of our friend group joined this Australian GTA RP server because we're all fucking night owls. We all stay up all night anyway. What's the sense in joining an American server when we're going to be awake at the time when, everybody's sleeping anyway? So we started hanging out with all these Australians and stuff like that. And we ended up joining the Secret Service and protecting the president. And the first night that this dude was president, he gets kidnapped randomly. And I was the only one that was on, and I didn't even like clock into my Secret Service job yet. So I just started. I don't know if you remember Transformers 2, the crazy fucking dude from the first movie who then becomes like Secret Service and like part of the military police and stuff.
Never watched either of those movies.
He starts screaming, "One man alone. I'm gonna come and save the country." Blah blah blah. So I just started screaming that while I'm streaming on Twitch over the radio and over the cell phone. I was calling the police, calling them fucking idiots, saying, "Why do I have to be one man alone trying to save the president of the country? Meanwhile, you can't even fucking take care of the problem when I'm not even on my job yet." It's crazy. And, just streaming to, 10, 15 people of them laughing their fucking asses off, trying to save the president. But it's like, how the fuck is this? How's it going to match up? Is there more people playing games? You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
I
don't,
mean, like I don't know how you get more people because there's already it's one of the highest selling games of all time, so everyone's already in and they're already established.
and then they're talking about a higher price range. They're talking
Hmm.
about like $80, $90 at release. So like what are we looking at here? Is there actually gonna or so this is the only thing that I can think of that actually makes sense. Do you remember when Black Ops 3 came out and they released the mod tools for zombies?
No,
Okay, so when Black Ops 3 released on PC, they allowed mod tools so you could create your own custom
that
zombies.
that actually is the only thing I could see. Like they just fully embraced modding finally, and they're just like, here's a modding API on launch. Good luck, have fun. That's like the only thing they can do. They can only just make it like a platform. It effectively just becomes Second Life. They just need to make Second Life.
And that honestly, logically, makes the most sense. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
release the stories as like DLC. Hey, we'll add in a new map. We'll add in the
Mm-hmm.
entire United States at one point for like, GTA 8, whatever. But like they're talking about having San Andreas and Liberty City and or Vice City and Liberty City on the same map. Okay, that's cool. I like this idea. I like where we're going with this. But how much more is that worth? Where are we going? Because at some point it's just completely disconnected. But them completely buying into the RP shit and buying into mods and stuff like that would
Yeah.
completely be the idea. Make a $60 game at release
Nah, it
and
has to
then
be
make
80.
it a $10 fucking add-on a month to have the mod tools accessible.
That would be more of a riot than just raw 80.
I don't think so.
If you charge monthly for mod tools, that'd be too much.
Because when you're done making your mod, it's done. You don't have to pay it anymore.
Yeah,
But
but
if
it's
you want to
still
upgrade something,
ridiculous.
you pay it for a month.
Nah, that's unacceptable.
It's better than these random ass battle pass fucking things that people are now trying to put in.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty is now putting in random monthly battle passes on top of the normal battle pass that's also $10 a month.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? What is this? No, I don't want to play as Seth Rogen. No, I don't want to play as Seth Rogen plays Price is Right. I don't understand why he's in this game and why I have to pay $15 or $10 in order to be able to use it. It's fucking stupid. I just I see that whole, service model as the thing that GTA might actually do, especially with RP. It might make sense to do just make it a service. Hey, it's a $40 payment as a game, and if you want the online service, it's $20 a month. It's $10 a month.
That it would die. People just be like, okay, I'll just go back to do it GTA 5 and do it what we're already doing.
Didn't they do that with Battlefield 3 and 4? There was like an online pass that you had to pay for in order to be able to play online on top of live.
I don't think that's successful though. I haven't heard of anyone like loving Battlefield 3 and 4 as much as GTA 5.
Oh, absolutely not. I don't think
Like
most games
I
measure
think
up to GTA
that's just the
5.
wrong brain rot path to be like, oh yeah, that's how they make more money, but they know they can't do that because that's how you just okay, cool. GTA 6, the most anticipated, like the most anticipated game ever. That's 12 years of waiting has to be flawless, and you can't do that by milking people. You
Yeah,
have to be like,
or
here's everything, $80. Shut up. It's the best game ever.
yeah, and honestly, with the level that Rockstar is showing that they are, we're going to see how, greedy these companies actually are. Or is Rockstar just as bad as everybody else? And I think we're going to see it. We're either going to see that they're going to fold to everything else everybody else is doing, some sort of battle pass thing or service thing, or this game's actually going to be better than GTA 5 and absolutely knock it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which. I don't. As they delay it more and more, I'm, starting to feel more and more fucking questionable about it. I don't know. I kind of think Pokemon Champions is more likely to actually be successful than GTA 6 right at this point.
I don't think delays means anything like that. It's just not going to be like, it doesn't need to be delayed to be a better game, and it kind of burns out hype, but I don't think that makes the game worse. It's just going to be like, whatever. I'm tired,
Did they have a
boss.
date before this?
No.
They didn't? Then why say it's a delay? Why not just say straight out, this is the
Because
release
I
date?
think they said like 2025, or they're saying like next year it's finally
Or
coming.
summer 2025 or something like that. And then they moved it to May next year.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, it's just weird. Like, if you don't have a set release date, just say, hey, we added more to the game.
That's what I mean. I was like, what more can you be adding to the game for a year of development with 600 people? That's an entire
When
game. Like their studio could put together an entire. They could remake GTA 5 with everything that it is today in a year with this team
you could do that with like fucking 10 people.
from scratch.
Not from scratch, but I'm saying like using the tools and stuff that are available, you definitely could just fucking build it. So they're saying production cost was about 500 to 700 million. but the 2 billion budget claim might be a little bit high. Even if it is 2 million, dude, it's weird to think that, they're just holding this back and holding this back and holding this back to see exactly what it's going to do. I don't know, it's just fucking weird. Well, I know this is the India Times, but this is kind of fucking hilarious. They say Rockstar came out saying that the total budget was $2 billion, which is more than it took to build the world's largest, tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, which took 6 years and $1.5 billion to make. So GTA 6 took more money and double the amount of time than the Burj Khalifa took to build.
The stupid thing is, like, they could have built an entire city. They could have built Neom in this time with this budget.
I don't.
Maybe
I
the
don't get it.
lawlessness and killing goes too far, but you could have actually made like an RP city. And I don't know.
Wait.
Also, it's kind of crazy to think about how much money this studio has. GTA 5 has sold 210 million copies. So, the game has made over 10 bill. 10. That's
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And honestly, like if GTA 6 sells that same amount, we're looking at, 5 times the rev.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a
But if
crazy
it
number.
doesn't, if it only sells 20 mil, then it's fucking cooked.
But I don't think we're going to know the first year. Like, yeah, we have the early releases and all that shit, all the pre orders. That first year isn't going to be the time when the majority of people buy it. If RP is not available at the beginning. Because people don't fucking care about the story mode. The majority of people. Like, they're going to want to play around and fuck around in the city. Absolutely. But if online is not released day one, they're not going to buy it.
It
Day
has to
one.
be, yeah, like it has to just be built as a straight up MMO with mod support.
I think that that's kind of the only path. So
Or
if
else,
they're
like,
if
why?
they're
What is it? It's nothing.
if they're delaying this, that way they are cleaning up the map and making sure that there's no fucking exploits, and like just
Impossible.
cleaning up, but like cleaning up everything they possibly can. That is step one. You know what I'm saying? The little things like that, so that way there isn't problems when RP starts a month after release. That's huge. Or are they doing absolutely more stupid things like, oh, you cannot put in licensed vehicles into your RP because that's fucking stupid.
It's kind of weird. Like, I think that game just became modern Second Life. Like, the RP scene, how big it is, just does not make any sense to me.
It's so fun, man. Like, I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it because I think it's fucking stupid. Like, going on and playing GTA and being a fucking garbage man sounds like a fucking horrible existence. I wouldn't want that existence in normal life. Why would I want that in like my fantasy world of like I'm going to fuck shit up? But like going on with a group of friends and our decision of like we're going to use our personality and fuck this place up and doing it as a team was a fucking blast.
I mean,
We
that's
went
like when you get the boys together and just do stupid shit. Like, we're going to live perfectly normal American lives, and we are going to self-sustain this little corner of the map. And then
we
that's
went
what's
from
like, I need a garbage man. I'll be garbage man. Then someone's like, I'll be the mailman. And then you just have fun.
yeah, we went from zero money where we had no friends, we just randomly joined a server to literally, all of us being able to manufacture everything ourselves, being able to manufacture guns, drug running, gun running, selling cars and vehicles and everything else, and helping them develop what they were going to put in the city just based off of personality. It was like, that is cool. That was fun. I don't think that that's replicatable, but like, that's how you do shit. I don't want to go and just play GTA RP and be a fucking garbage man or be a fisherman and sit there and click fucking shit over and over and over again. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if a AAA studio, like anyone, is actually capable of making the best game ever. Because, like, the weird thing is Palworld got close. Palworld is the best survival game ever made because it took every element and then brought it together in just, like, an incredible gameplay loop. It's really just kind of missing, like, Minecraft digging and stuff. You can't really do that with those graphics and without voxels. So, like, overall, I'm like, it's just complete and clean. Something that's like GTA 6. It would actually just have to be the most complete fleshed out game ever. Like it has to have Sims mechanics where
That's what I was
everyone
gonna
is
say.
like everyone's living their life perfectly and you can interact with them however. But it also has to be a city builder. So it has to be like Sims plus Sim City plus GTA 5 with RP and modding
That
support.
would
And like if I open up and like when you start my game and you make a character, there's actually a list of like 70 job titles and each one is perfectly like realistically crafted. And the thing is with this budget and this many people, anyone could technically do that. I don't think any dev has the scope. Just literally mix every game that's ever existed together. GTA 6.
But like, okay, so if they had the personality and the creation of Sims, where you could create your home and like build shit,
Hmm.
and it took time. Like, obviously, people are going to use this in RP, people are going to
Yeah.
use this in online and stuff like
That
that.
like
That's
that's it.
where
Just like nothing. Like you are developing a city. GTA.
you're able to when you're the leader of the city, you're able to develop and build things and extend your city if that's what
No,
you
like
want to
you
do.
move into like just a shack or even a blank plot and you gotta chop down the tree
Exactly.
and shit.
Exactly. And then you have like the car customization and the availability of something like Need for Speed or Forza, where
Yeah.
you're able to actually change your shit and you're able to customize your shit into the thing you want. And then you have something similar to like you have first or third person shooting like Fortnite or Call of Duty. And then you have like availability of how all of those things intermingle with things like gangs,
Yeah. It
the
really just need to
underworld kind
be
of stuff.
Sims with crime. I think to make the game more successful, I have to go away from all the gangbang and stuff that GTA has always been. Like you just want it to be a society.
Yeah, like if you did it so way, like you could choose and they were even. Like if
Hmm.
you sat there and did the sketchy shit, oh, you get like a 20% fucking
No,
multiplier on
that's
your
what the
money.
police are for. Like the police are
Exactly.
actually powerful and scary.
Exactly. Like, yeah, if you do the sketchy shit, you get a buff on your money slightly, not drastically to the point
Hmm.
where it's the only answer. You want the normal jobs to actually be a logical answer in like a front almost, if that's what you want. Make it so it's fucking logical and kind of balanced. But if you don't sit there and balance the stuff, this shit doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then the guy you robbed, very early on in the city development, he actually became the police chief and he is hunting your ass now.
Exactly. Like, and that's where I think RP kind of does it right, where,
Hmm.
actually having that interaction and as long as you don't die, you have the memory of what's gone on and everything else. Like, I remember that they had a rule that if you got it free from a police chase, if they saw you 10 minutes later, it was essentially a new interaction. They couldn't just rearrest you
Hmm.
or try and rearrest you for the same thing. If they die, you die, or 10 minutes goes past, you win. That's what the answer is. And it's like that's kind of sick.
Yeah,
Because like,
that's the wanted system from GTA where the stars go
yeah,
away.
exactly. Do you want them, outside of a garage sitting there banging on the door until the stars go away? No, that's
Hmm.
stupid. But if you outsmart them and go up to the top of a parking garage and they don't have a fucking helicopter and you're gone, that's fucking fantastic. But yeah, no, it's scary, man. It's scary because the
I don't care
answer
about it.
should
Like I
be
said, it's taken so long. It's like I don't care. It can be whatever it wants. It can be terrible. It could be incredible.
it could be a YouTube resurgence, which would be fucking cool. Or it could be the death of like gaming on YouTube, as we know it at least.
Now everything else is so strong. Like we've existed fine without GTA. GTA doesn't end any of that.
Yeah, well, GTA channels turned into Fortnite channels, turned into, you know what I'm saying? GTA is probably the next thing that everybody's going to cling on to. That's what
Now
I'm
it's
saying
Power
is
World.
like,
Power World's finishing, and that's just better.
but yeah, no,
Actually,
it's
GTA needs to suck so Power World can like run.
of course.
It's a better game.
Pokemon with guns is a
It's a
better
better
game.
game.
Pokemon with guns is a better game than GTA. That's what you're saying?
Hmm.
Okay, we got the
In
title
no
again.
uncertain terms.
So you sent me these links about fucking Twitter halting payments to India. Is it just India or is it
Yeah, it's just India because they're fucking scamming the system. They just do brigading and botting and junk and spam, and then they soak up all the ad revenue. Because the thing is, the payouts are just a pool. So the thing is, like, an ad in India is worth 10 cents per thousand, an ad in America is worth $10 per thousand. So they're just getting that $10 share, by making all these spam accounts like nature's beautiful, and then they post an AI picture of some garbage and then say wonderful, and then it gets a million retweets.
See, I thought that this was, you know how Harley was hacked on Facebook and then his account was run by some Pakistani dude in some tunnel that, barely had a cell phone that worked. This is what he said.
Mm.
Um, that's what I thought this was like kind of protections against that. Like if you're fucking hacked, you can't just have a manager randomly in India or Pakistan. We're not going to be paying out to that. That's not okay.
No, just
You can't
like
just
if your account originates in India, your payouts are halted because it's all sketch. Like there's nothing there's no legitimate traffic coming from India. There's no legitimate ads or
and it's all
accounts.
farming.
It's all low quality spam that like the thing is it's like the TOS violation because Elon's been talking like we're going to actually want effort. Like if you want to be in the partner program, if you want to make money, you have to have high quality posts. So they just say it's from India, low quality post, get you're not getting paid out.
That's
And
interesting.
I think it's fair because it's all just spam, garbage, engagement farming. That's all it is. And
Yeah.
that's not allowed. So cool, it's fair, and I wanted to bring that up because it is funny and it's a bit of catharsis. And also, they were just scamming the system because it wasn't the bucket. Like it's not like oh yeah, they're fighting over their 10 rubles. It's like no, they're actually getting the $3 CPM where it's not worth it there, where all their views and content milling are coming from, and then other people they're getting less. So like the payouts are shrinking. That was another thing that started. People like, hey, I've been making like 10% less every week for like months now, and it's like we're making nothing. It just turns out, oh, that's because all these spam engagement farms from India popped up, and they just stole all the money.
Like you see a lot of the accounts that are like, "Oh, look at this news story and look at that news story and this crazy thing happened." I don't like that shit either.
It's all Indian. It's all Indian
It's
money
just
farming.
fucking stupid.
And
Oh,
then the
look at
thing
this
is,
OnlyFans account.
all that money just goes into their call centers to scam grandma. Like, there's nothing legitimate in India. In India,
Well, there's legitimately a possibility of them starting World War III. That's interesting.
every time two countries go to war, we say it's World War III.
Well, this is the first time that we've seen two powers on the top 10 armies in the world fighting.
Is Ukraine 11th?
Mm, I would assume 15th or
I mean,
16th.
technically, it's a proxy war with us and Russia, and Russia still has nukes. And Putin did allude to nukes at one point, I think. So I think it
Mhm.
was that serious.
Yeah. But these dudes are absolutely willing to shoot them at each other and just say, "Hey, we're coming for you." They have numerous boundaries where they're just walking back and forth waiting to shoot each other, just staring at each other. It was weird watching all the videos of like, "Oh, we just sent rockets randomly into the other country." I think it was last night when I was sitting there and they were just getting posted randomly. It's fucking insane. But
That
like,
was like one tweet I saw. It's like, why are they just mulling around on bikes at midnight in the desert?
and then
And
boom, 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 and then you're like,
but it's like,
"Oh."
what are they doing? That's just their culture. It's like they're just always mulling around at midnight somewhere.
But it'll be confusing to see what exactly happens with that shit because as a whole, it does have the whole, PAX behind it. You have a whole bunch of people like Russia and China behind Pakistan, and you have us and the UK behind India. What exactly is going to happen? Pakistan's one of the top 10 armies in the world on some lists.
I mean, I like, but also, what's the repercussion if they glass each other? I don't think there's any. It's not like we lose any allies. It's not like we lose any production.
That's an interesting thought. If two
I
people,
say the unsavory things. No one likes any of them.
I'm kind of interested by that one. Like, and even if you dumb it down, and there's two dipshits in the other fucking room fist fighting, and they just bust each other open, and they're fucking sitting there on the floor leaking. And you walk in there, and you're like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" I don't think anybody lost anything. They may have lost a few brain cells and maybe a pint or two of blood, but like, I didn't lose anything. I don't know, man. Like, if we didn't have all these pacts where, we're guaranteed to go to war the second that everybody else agrees to it, I don't think there would be as many big problems or big possible problems that we have. And it's just like the only people that get into those agreements are people that are willing to go to war today because the USA backs them. It's just like, why? Why? What the
Hmm. Do we have a patch with India?
I believe we have a pact with India, yeah.
Yeah, we just break that and everything's okay. Like, that's stupid. Why would we make a pact with them? They share a border with Pakistan, and they're all crazy.
Yeah, I wonder. Do we back
Actually, but I think by then, because that means Pakistan has to strike, start the war, and then we retaliate in India's favor. But what India is left if it's glassed?
so this is where it gets hard. We have we
Why are
have
we in a?
policies and strategic relationships with both of them.
I thought we didn't like Pakistan.
Pakistan is a major non-NATO ally and leading recipient of U.S. aid, particularly during periods of military rule. And the US and India have strong strategic partnerships with a focus on counterterrorism, countering Chinese influence in the Indo Pacific, and building strategic and military ties.
There's absolutely no other way they're benefiting us in that. I mean, like, I guess it's nice having India as an ally with China right there, but China also is an ally with them, probably equally in underground, shady ways.
It's just like, why?
All I hear is like, oh, India got a grant from China to do more development, and all of like China just bought up all of Africa while we weren't paying attention.
Yeah, so we definitely probably would back India in this.
Don't we want Pakistan's oil though?
So the foreign relations of India, the countries considered India's closest friends include the UAE, which is one of our biggest supporters of oil and stuff like that, Russia, Israel,
Wait, India has
Afghanistan.
UAE, not Pakistan?
Yeah,
See, I grew up post 9/11. That's where all my developmental years happened. So all I
we'll
know
look
is
at
Middle East
Pakistan
bad.
in a second. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I was like, I thought we like Afghanistan, Iran. Those are the big ones. But Pakistan's out there somewhere.
That's why I'm confused by this. So the UAE, Russia, Israel, Afghanistan, France, Bhutan, and Bangladesh.
Okay.
Pakistan allies are okay. So first one I saw was
Please let it
China.
be the same exact list without Bangladesh.
That would be fucking stupid. Um, I hate the fact that sometimes you can get fucking short snippets and you can't get that. Okay, so Pakistan has close bilateral ties with China and the Muslim world, including Turkey, Saudi
So
Arabia, and the
Pakistan
Gulf
is
Arab
bad.
countries.
They're friends with China.
Yep.
Then why are we friends with them?
I
And
don't
India's
understand.
just scamming us all day long. Glass them both. We lose nothing.
And they have ties to Iran.
Shit, the Ganges probably gets cleaner if this happens. Less pollution into the ocean. Everyone wins. I like dolphins.
So this New York Times article says India versus Pakistan is also just U.S. versus China when it comes to arms sales.
Probably. I didn't know that China was proxying through Pakistan. I thought China and India were buddying up.
Nope, I don't think so.
Let's see. India, China, economic relations, deals. Uh, can India navigate US-China trade tensions to boost green economy growth? Okay, we gotta do before 2020, because it's impossible. China exports to India forecast. China and India growth. Tiger and the dragon. Oh, maybe they are just economic enemies.
Yep, it seems like that.
Why was China developed faster than India? India received 9 billion from migrant workers in the region, while China received 1 billion. Yeah, so actually they're just doing their own things, and China's more evil, so they're winning the race, and I guess India's mad. Also, China's got like, they get the notoriously smarter hard workers.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, the US has a war agreement with both India and Pakistan, but we are only bound to support either country in case of a war with a third enemy nation. There we
There's
go.
always a clause. I love the loophole.
Fuck, man. Fuck. The fact that that is even a fucking thing is absolutely mind blowing.
Wow, strategic implications of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, December 16th, 2019. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. That sounds serious.
Yeah, that's a lot of letters.
So yeah, I guess they are trade enemies.
Like, I don't know. Pakistan is always one of those weird countries to me, especially after they hit Osama bin Laden, that I'm like, how do you trust them? How do you trust them on these things when they hit somebody on purpose?
I wonder if the or like the war agreement was only like, hey, if Afghanistan hits at you, we can just fund another trillion to glass Afghanistan finally. That might
It's
have been
just
it. It
weird.
might just be like, yo, they hate you more than we hate you, so it'll be cool if we get an excuse.
It's just stupid, man.
That's either ignorance or exactly what happened.
Yeah, and that heard there, this is real facts. But like honestly, those facts could also be exactly what's going on, and just nobody could say it either. And that's the shitty part is like because there's no transparency in fucking economics or, you know, world relations, that there's no fucking transparency in it.
We
So
need fog of
either
war.
yeah, like there's just complete blindness to fucking everything. And it's just like, yeah, you could put the logic together and it could be that. Or it could be much stupider than that.
Well, also, if the media did their job, they would lose all the narratives. Because we wouldn't care about green energy if we knew what China was up to.
Exactly.
They're building a coal plant every day. They're polluting 20 million times more than us, so why are we losing everything? I don't know where Zach went. I don't know what the recording is. I don't know where his camera is. I don't know what happened. I'm now scared. It says I'm in the show. I am the show. I think it's server side, so now I have to monologue, and then I have to fill Zach in later. I think I can do pretty good at that. I just do commentary. YouTube is my thing. I can be entertaining on the spot if I need to. If everything just hits the fan, I forgot what I was talking about. So I can just, when I was a young boy growing up in South Florida, I would skip rocks across the pond, and I was scared of alligators because of that. But either way, what I was getting at is, yeah, like China, again, they have effectively bought out Africa, and that's where all the batteries and my hair is fucked up today. It just doesn't want to make any sense. They have rare earth monopolies, all the cobalt mines, just everything else. So if the media said anything about that, well, we wouldn't care about anything else going on for all the socialist and commie narratives. So that's a big issue right there. I wish I had someone to agree with me like Zach. I already miss him so much. And then I don't have the topic list. Zach said he wanted to talk about me being hated and attacking all the PokeTubers, but cheating is wrong. And if you're here, you probably watch my videos anyways. Like cheating's wrong. PokeAim got caught cheating. Blissey was the one behind it. Blissey's already been exposed as a liar, cheat, and fraud because he's covering for all the cheaters in VGC and then lying about it. Oh, $500 is too expensive to play Pokemon, even though we have Pokemon. Hi, Zach. Welcome back. You need to save me from myself.
What was that?
You need to save me from myself. Welcome back.
I am saving you from yourself. No worries. Uh, I hate this PC some days. Some days it just crashes and it's a piece of shit. I have no idea why. It's
It
only,
said we're still live, so I guess it's recording server side, so I just had to monologue
yeah,
for a couple minutes. I held it
yeah.
down, don't worry.
Okay. Well, I'll cut out if we need to,
No,
regardless.
I held it. I'm not doing all that work for nothing.
Okay, then I'll leave it. I was just trying to be supportive and say, hey, if you didn't want it, we
I was
can
being
cut it.
supported by supporting you, and then you just go and shit on all my effort. Chat knows. They heard.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll go
But
back and listen.
so the thing is, I was saying, like, all these commies in the news and shit, if anything else was going on in the world, like, oh yeah, China's just buying out Africa. If we had to care about that, we wouldn't care about any of these other things. We'd just be like, oh, fuck China. Yeah, these tariffs are great. Yeah, all this other stuff is great. We need to pollute more to keep up with them so we can actually produce. They're buying out the entire world. We're just sitting here doing nothing. Cool.
We're letting them buy out our country in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, if we cared, that would be number one.
I don't like, and it's always around military bases. They have all this land. I'm pretty sure there should just be executive action to be like, no, they lose that. Like, if it is China-owned confirmed land or has any ties to the CCP, that should just be an immediate revocation. It does not matter at that point. And if that pisses off China, it doesn't matter. They're declining anyways. They have a zombie economy. This is now the time to strike.
Yeah, exactly. Like I see China a lot like we saw Russia after the curtain fell. Like it seems like to me like China, if it was pushed, would crash.
Hmm.
Like the people I don't think would crash. It seems like they're
I
very,
don't
very
understand why we
strong.
don't want to go that hard. Because, like, we need to also treat them like pre-curtain Russia. Where it's like, they are an enemy. And all the propaganda has just taken that from us. And we can see how they did the quiet way. Russia did the loud, boisterous way and got messed up. China's been doing it quietly, but everyone knows exactly what they're doing. They haven't been secretive about it, where it's like, oh yeah, they just subsidize the stealing of all of our IPs and all of our production, and then
That
undersell
was
us, and then just mass advertise Timu to us until everyone's no longer buying any American products, and then everything gets in shitified. They did it. We should hate them, steal all their land back in retaliation, add tariffs, make America great. Let's go.
that tariff that the Trump just put in for any, IPs and stuff that were made outside of the US being imported here actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, these are propaganda pieces that they're being given to our people. It's
Literally.
just like that's fucking amazing. I actually like where that like logically, maybe
Hmm.
not factually, maybe it's fucking weird and they're doing it incorrectly.
Well, I
But
mean,
like
as we can see, every
logically,
every other country is like falling apart. Where like Canada's just imploding themselves, Europe's imploding themselves. Fine, let's just isolate in and become a self-sustaining country with the largest thing, and then everyone else will need us anyways. Like, we don't lose anything. We still have the largest economy in the world by trillions. So they can hate us all they want. They need our shit. And that's what we need to play for. We need to play for they need our shit. Instead, we've given all of our shit to China, and now we need China's shit, and China's shit is worse, and I don't get it.
but I wonder if isolating and making our own shit and stuff like that causes us problems in the long run because then other countries will see us do it and then be like, okay, with these things, we can just isolate and make our own shit of these things. And then it's like, okay, we can now just break this down into like civilization talk where you have gold, I have
Hmm.
batteries, let's trade. And then it's like, we're just going back to the same thing. We're
But then we
just
come out
cycling the
stronger
same
because
exact problem.
we're the winners. We can live without coffee, and then we just bring all of our production home. Because like we
Have you
have the
seen the
land.
white girls? I don't think we can live without coffee.
I don't
Those
care.
white girls would be mad.
Good. They can leave. They can go where there's coffee. We'll go dig our own rare earths and it'll be fine. It's like that's the thing. People are like, oh, China has all the rare earths. No, they have all the production and manufacturing. We can still mine it and produce it. We just need the refineries. We can self-sustain easy. And
Yeah,
then
I think a lot of it we can do. It's just there are some things that are unavailable,
not
and
as
those
much as
unavailable things
people
might
think.
make it more complicated to
They want
try
they
and
need our
do.
oil. That's the problem. They need our oil to run all that stuff. They need our sweet crude.
So I saw this thing, and everybody's saying it's fucking stupid, but I don't think it's fucking stupid. I
Oh
think it's
no.
actually genius. Trump came out and said, "Guys, I like the idea of reopening Alcatraz."
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
For the worst of the worst, put them in Alcatraz, make it a big thing, rebuild the entire thing, make it big and beautiful, and absolutely make it so way it holds our worst of our worst. So that way they can't come back and infect us.
Yeah, why not?
And it's just like, where is that bad? We
Mhm.
do that already. Like,
Yeah.
logically do that already with things like Guantanamo and everything else. So why is it bad to do it in something like San Francisco where,
Mhm. Because the Democrat Party only operates on crime. Without fraud and crime, they have nothing. So if we actually start punishing crime properly again, instead of having all these DAs turn 20 million time criminals back on the streets just for them to kill again and assault again, like that actually looks bad for them. Where it's like, hey, we actually deter crime by making the punishment crazy. Because I saw a video, and maybe you've seen this like on YouTube, where the guy went to the prison that's in that like the big one where all the MS-13 gang members are going.
Mhm.
Have you seen
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
No, I
I
haven't.
still.
I know what
Oh,
you're talking about though.
yeah. I'll actually get the video for people. Hmm. You
It's
talk
just
while I find this. Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting, kind of like the thought process behind something like Alcatraz or Guantanamo or the place in Costa Rica, El Salvador, not Costa Rica. Like, I know some people don't like the idea of sending people to El Salvador.
There it is.
Okay, so having a place like Alcatraz that's available to hold these people until
Hmm.
they can go to El Salvador, doesn't that fucking make sense? Like, have a
Well,
place.
no, like that you live there for the rest of your life. You are on a rock stranded. So yeah, it was Ruhi's video that has 102 million views from 2 months ago. World's highest security prison, the most evil are kept here. This changed my views on capital punishment because I thought if you kill someone, if you are just evil, do not pass go, your life is over, execution, that is what you deserve. But after seeing how they're treated in that prison, I thought, no, that's what you deserve. You deserve 50 more years of torment and suffering. That is your atonement, is pure misery. You're not allowed to talk, you are not allowed to see the outside, you get no air, you're never talking to your family or loved ones again. That is how you pay for your crimes instead of with your life. We need
Have
that
you
here.
have you seen people on like death row come forward and like have interviews and stuff like that? Like not the absolutely insane but
Mhm.
fucking crazy people, but like the actual logical people. I remember this one short or this one clip of this one dude that was talking. And he's like, these people believe I killed him. These people feel like I did the worst thing to ever do to somebody. And they deserve to watch that be equaled. And it's like the fact that you're so understanding of what their pain is that
Mhm.
you're like, hey, if taking care of me, even though I didn't do it, gives them, comfort to know that there's some equality here. It's like, okay, not everybody in these systems is broken. And I just wish that we kind of understood that, like as people on the outside. Like obviously
Um, I feel like if that's how that person feels, there's no putting them back into the world.
what that, their life could be traded for something that they didn't do.
Except we, how like if we remove like post 1960s black people, how many times has someone falsely been executed? Or pre 1960s, when it was just like, oh, girl got knocked up and just blamed it on the neighborhood kid, and then like he got killed. Like, okay, we move those from the equation. Because if someone is just like, I didn't do it, but I understand that this is their atonement, I'm okay with giving my life for that. It's like, I think you did it, my guy.
Okay, so since 1973, 200 people have been exonerated from death row, and for every 8 people executed, one person would be exonerated.
Now, is
So it's
that a
not
part
like
of the
it's
process?
so. The Innocent Project estimates that there are about 4% of these sentenced to death are likely innocent, highlighting a significant risk and error in the system. Like, I think that if they were more strict about the punishment and availability, but you had to actually be
Hmm.
certain that something happened, like
Yeah.
actual have evidence and proof of putting that person
Hmm.
pulling the trigger or whatever, then obviously there's more of like a
Hmm.
backing to saying that that person should be killed for it.
Yeah, so it's like it's a 4% of sentence, but is that like an
I
estimation,
assume
whatever?
that's an estimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says the Innocence Project estimates that at least 4%
Hmm.
of those sentenced to death are likely innocent, highlighting a significant risk and error. So
Hmm.
even if that's 10%, just that way we have a number that's
No,
easy
I
to
would
work
say
with.
lower because they're trying to pump up their numbers for their idea. But also, I remember the Innocence Project. I think they took a hit recently because they got some guy off death row, and then he went and killed the person that ratted on him.
That's crazy.
That was on like the Joe Rogan podcast. They had like the Innocence Project people, and then he brought like someone. He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about that guest you had because they let the guy out and he killed again." And Joe was like, "I know, that's crazy, right?" So there's also the times where the killer is now put back on the streets or is off death row 20 years later, gets out, and then just kills. So it's like, oh wait, we would have had it. So like the false positives also offset, and it is rough because like yeah, you want the with something like death row, you want it to be 0%. You'd want to believe that like wait, If
Mhm.
that's the reservation for the punishment, if someone's going to jail for murder, that should be 100%, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like if you can't 100% stick them with without a reasonable doubt,
hmm
allow murder too to be the
Yeah, exactly.
charge that like it automatically drops down. If you cannot
hmm
clear the death penalty, it automatically goes to life. Okay, that works. Then they have the availability to,
Yeah, then they can
audit
fight
the
it.
system and fight it. That makes sense
hmm
logically.
And that's
But
another thing
not
about
having
death row is like just because you're sentenced to death row doesn't mean that like in that 10 years while you're just waiting, oh, you actually get exonerated. Like it got close, you made it to the wire, but how many people have actually been killed that were ended up being innocent after? And if it's like
it says
one out of
190.
after like they were innocent after dying,
Uh, there were at least 190 people who were sentenced to death in the United States that had been exonerated or and released since
so
1973.
that means sentence is different than you got executed, oopsie, 5 years later we found the killer. Like I want to know that number. And if it's like 1 out of 500, I think I'm comfortable with that. Cuz that's not 1 out of 500 prisoners. That's 1 out of 500 like worst of the worst. And usually I haven't seen a thing where it's like maybe on the line.
Estimates 4 to 6%. God, can you stop using that fucking source? I just want a number. I don't want it exonerated. I want died, but then available to like be cleared of charges.
hmm It might not have been the Innocence Project, but I think it was someone else.
Yeah, I googled it. It didn't come up with
hmm
anything, but it could be wrong,
But it was
obviously.
some project where it's like, yeah, we fought hard to get this dude out. He didn't kill that person, and then he went out and immediately killed some dude.
Well, you even have the making a murderer shit that literally is this exact argument. The uncle was in jail for murder. He gets cleared of it by the state, telling him to go fuck himself,
hmm
gets millions of dollars, gets out, and then commits a murder, possibly. That is also questionable. It's like, guys, if this level of, negligence is everywhere in these cases, guys, we need to stop fighting with our fucking ego, man. This shit's fucking ridiculous. It could be really bad, like honestly.
Is it Derek Hamilton?
7,400 people have been sentenced to death in the United States in between January 73 and December 2004. And they have removed 117 of them.
No, Derek Hamilton's actually like a success story because he studied law inside a prison and freed himself.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff's interesting. I kind of wish, and this might sound stupid, but it's like a path back almost to me. Why do we make it so way people that have felonies and that have been to prison and paid their debt for that felony as like almost untouchable? Like there's people like that that will go through law school in jail that I assume is at least at the minimum level to get a law degree. They pass all their stuff, they do everything that they're supposed to do, but they can never do anything with that certificate. They can never do anything
Well,
with that
I mean, no,
degree.
he gets himself exonerated, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that cleans it. Well,
No,
the person
I
that
know in
doesn't
that
clean that serves
specific
their
case.
30 years and comes out with an engineering degree.
Mhm. Like Josh's friend Garfield, he has multiple certificates. That dude gets shit on multiple times because of just being a fucking prisoner at one point. And it's just like,
What did he do?
uh, what did he do? I don't fucking remember. I
Because like
think it
that's
was
the thing why there's
assault.
different crimes. You have just like felonies where it's like you've done very bad.
Well, there's even levels in that, like, intent to distribute at some
hmm
point is a felony. It's like, sorry, yeah, he does have a felony, but it's like a non-violent felony. And like, if you do the mental health work and you actually do the work to fix yourself and you're not just killing people and beating them up all the time and you
Yeah.
have multiple, maybe you actually can be rehabilitated. why is jail like this stamp
Mhm.
on your fucking record of like you do not return at all?
Yeah, Kyle's is as far as what I can see, where it's just like, yeah, you should probably be allowed to own guns again. Like he got a bunk shenanigan thing happen to him.
Exactly. Like
So
I'm
it's like,
surprised he's not pardoned.
hmm so like, yeah, I could see that being a problem. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't care if you serve 25 years if you like assault with a deadly weapon. I'm okay if you're completely removed from society with that. Attempted murder, you can be gone forever. I don't care how much you reform. You should have never
Like the
fucked
Cain
up that hard.
Velasquez case, that's a pretty good argument right there.
hmm
It's
Well,
like,
but then the problem is like he should have never been convicted for that. But
oh, I agree.
yeah.
I'm not
So what I'm saying is like,
disagreeing with you there.
hmm
Like, do I agree that there should be vigilante justice? No. I probably would have a charge if I felt like vigilante justice was a logical thing. But it's like at the same time, Cain Velasquez right now is convicted.
yeah,
And
the
should he be
conviction
written out of
removes the
society?
context
Yeah.
where it's like I want him, but at the same time, I don't know about the other 99% of attempted murderers that like where's their justification? And half the time you get the feel good story of like dude killed daughter's SA or judge lets him free and then you're just like yay. But
That's
then when
what
they
should
don't
happen.
get let free, it's like, well, your life doesn't deserve to be ruined. You just got a
Yeah,
bad
you do the
DA
right
that
thing.
hates you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why like yeah, it is murky there. But then that's the problem about the entire interpretation of the justice system at that point where it's like it's a felony. Like you did the crime, the end result is the crime. There's no asterisk, there's no addendum, but also there isn't room for that in our system. But then does it
Like
just
the
get too
context
messy with
doesn't
that?
matter after
Yeah.
the court case is done.
Mhm.
Like if somebody steals $5,000, $10,000, whatever, that's a felony. Guess what? I'm not going to do. I'm not going to trust them with my money. I'm not going to fucking walk away from them. But as far as making sure they mow my grass and they run a business by themselves or whatever, they should not be not allowed to run a business. They should not be allowed to like be exiled from society completely because they
I
stole
think it depends on the
thousand
crime. Like
dollars.
and it also depends on how much money. I think after 10K you shouldn't be allowed to own a business. But if you steal like a $3,000 TV, yeah, but if it's a financial crime, like, oh, you laundered $5,000, yeah, no, you never get a business again.
That makes sense. But like if
But
you
at the end of the day, it's
launder,
just $5,000 theft felony.
yeah,
So they don't,
exactly.
they don't know if it was a TV, a car, or actual business crime.
Like these people that launder money. You want to know what the perfect job for them is? Traffic cop, walking around and putting parking tickets on people that don't have fucking money in their meter.
hmm
But yet, you know what? We're not fucking using them because they don't fucking matter. Society's dead, and it doesn't work. It doesn't. This whole getting stamped with a felony and all of a sudden no longer fucking mattering to society is insane.
I think the problem is though that most felons don't matter to society.
But it's
So like,
like,
how do you
even
peel
if it's
that
a
apart?
third of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are half these things felonies?
But felons are so dangerous that like if it's like 50-50 or one third, two thirds, I think letting the 50-50, that's not a net positive to society.
But at some point, isn't it just beating up on the person that struggles already?
I
Like
don't
they
care if you chose to fuck someone up on a felony level.
like if they're dealing drugs and they're in the shit and they fuck around and get caught with a gun afterwards and they're defending themselves because they're
Nah, you
selling
you
drugs.
go no, you're gone if you're actually like dealing drugs because you are bringing that detriment to society. Now,
I
but
agree.
that is like the caught on possession thing, where it's just like, oh, I had 2 ounces, now I'm a dealer because I gave it to my friends and whatever. As instead of being the guy that has like the fucking entire setup where he's giving out everything, he's got $1 million in cocaine somewhere in his house. Like, okay, yeah, that person never gets reformed. You're gone forever. But at the same
And
time,
that's
both are dealers. What do you say? I'd rather have both have no opportunity than the $1 million cocaine dude have any chance.
it's weird. It's weird because that context slowly doesn't matter.
Also, but at the same time, it was your choice to take the risk on those drugs. It's not
Oh,
like you
absolutely.
accidentally got caught with that much or anything. So like
No,
you couldn't help the
obviously.
compulsion for weed. You're burnout. I'm sorry, you're bum. Lose your opportunity to a degree.
And we're even seeing that with some of the judges that are growing on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw this guy. This dude's like this little bald guy with fucking round glasses, and he wears like a suit instead of like a judge's jacket. And he talks so fucking weird, and he's from Texas. And half the time he's like, so he was walking while white. He jaywalked and you found fucking drugs on him. I'm sorry, you don't have cause to fucking harass somebody because they fucking jaywalked. Hand him the fucking jaywalking charge if that's what you want to do. He just because he's walking from a convenience store and walks across the fucking road, you're not going to charge
Well,
him with
Kyle's was
fucking
he
drugs.
had shorts on, and that looks suspicious.
Yeah, like
Gym shorts.
that dude kind of gives me hope that some sort of possibility of shit actually making sense again. But fucking hell, man, like what the fuck? So I don't know if you heard about this. I didn't hear about this until I was looking for fucking topics today. But do you remember a few months ago when the protest happened in Columbia University? When the Palestine protesters were like dealing with all the Jews and everything
Well, I
else, and they
don't
were
know
blocking
about.
the doors and
Well, that's I don't know about Columbia specifically because that was happening at like every campus. I thought that's why Harvard is getting their funding taken away because
I believe so.
they just allowed anti-Semitism. They allowed bullying of their Jewish students. So it's like, yeah, you lose everything. But Columbia,
So
let's go.
The Palestine protesters broke into Columbia University and took over the buildings. And they were blocking the doorways so that way, you know, nobody could come in and remove them. So Columbia actually handled it like a bunch of fucking geniuses that they're supposed to be, and they just started blocking the doors.
You
So
let yourself
now you
in.
have, yep, you let yourself in, you have a problem. So
You want
now
to
they're
be here. If you
telling,
wanted to leave, you would have never came in.
so now they're telling them, show your ID or you're going to be arrested for trespassing. You show your ID, then we know who you are, and you can be arrested anyway. So they're legitimately not letting anybody leave Columbia University buildings for Palestine protests because, you know, you broke in. They're just blocking everything. I guess this is the university library. They're making everybody show their IDs in order for them to be able to leave. It's just like, that's fantastic. You know, where was that on January 6th? Just make everybody show their IDs. Give up their fucking anonymity.
Well,
If
yeah,
you
the
want to fuck
government
around,
found
you
them
find out.
anyways. 66% of the FBI working to get those people in jail? That's nuts. Why aren't we doing anything real with our power to find people like this? He was on our radar and then shoots up a school. Real cool. But we got grandma that the police officer let into the building.
It's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating because looking at this shit and it's like, oh, look, we're actually handling something right. It's like, guys, we could have handled a whole bunch of shit correctly, and you guys chose not to until right this second. I'm so happy we're finally changing, but fuck, man.
Yeah. Also, like I feel like if you're a student there, you're probably just fine to a degree where it's just like Alex Goldstein. Yeah, you can here's my ID. You don't have to worry about me being a Palestine protester. Let me out. I'm
Just
going home.
just have them show all of their Twitter follows and all of their Twitch subscriptions. We'll know really quick who all of them are
Yeah.
that support Palestine and who are all these protesters. All you have to do is look for one of two people, Frogan or Hassan,
hmm
and that's it. And I'm sure you'll find them. You'll find them real quick.
Yeah, that's it. Like the idea to get out. I feel like some people can slip through the cracks where like you take off your mask and like you find a change of clothes somewhere and then you just look normal walking out.
No, they're literally blocking all the entrances. Everybody who's in there is treated as a
Well,
protester.
see, that's what I mean. Where it's just like, what if you're just a student and you get caught up in it by accident, or if you're a protester and again you just completely change out everything and just like I was just using the library. I thought it was a public library. My bad.
I don't know. It's interesting because we're seeing a lot. I don't know if it's a lot more protests, but it seems like they're becoming such a big story now all the time. It's like, oh, another protest is happening. Oh, another protest is happening. You know
No,
how
it's
many
always
times
been like this. Like,
I've seen fucking this weird ass protest that supposedly is happening against Trump being a Nazi. And it's like every courthouse, they have like, don't touch or don't cross something. This shit's stupid.
all the Tesla protests that have happening. That's one thing. I'm like, where's this mailing list? Where's the mailing list that says like you get $100 a day for showing up to the Tesla rally?
Like my girlfriend was asking me, she's like, "Babe, what happened to all this shit about us having to swap over to electric cars?"
Hmm.
I said, "I'll explain this really easily." I said, "How many even Tesla superchargers have we seen since we've been out today?" And we were out for like an hour at that point. Drove probably like 20 miles. She said 0. I said, "Okay. How many superchargers at all have you seen?" She said 0. I said, "Now, how many gas stations have you seen?" She said 2. I said, "Exactly. So even if we're in some small ass town, or even, small back ass towns in whatever fucking state, yeah, the cities might fully convert over to electric vehicles. But the second you get into anywhere conservative or anywhere disconnected a little bit, you're not going to have the availability that, the cities do. Yeah, they can lead with the cities and be like, oh, look, we're all electric here. But you're not going to be able to force everybody to get rid of all of their fucking gas vehicles. You're just not. It's not going to work.
That's not who the protesters are.
No, but there's a lot of it now. That's what California was saying. Is in 2026 they were going to mandate all vehicles be sold in their state electric
Yeah.
only. New York came behind and said the same exact thing. I know the Tesla protests are mainly because of, Elon being a part of his cabinet and all of that shit. I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's funny because it's not as big of a thing as everybody says it is. At
Yeah,
least
well,
once
I
you get
thought
out
when
of
you
the
said like
city.
what happened to electric, I thought you'd been like what happened to electric being the green future of the world that every lefty is 100% supporting and loving, and now they're torching batteries.
There's that argument too.
That's why I thought you
Which
were going. But it's also, what happened to electric. I think Tesla does have it to where they have like X amount of superchargers every X miles, just so there is a grid for their users, even in the middle of nowhere. But it's not great.
no, my closest supercharger is in Albany, which is 50 miles away.
It's I mean, I thought they had them at least like within 20 miles away of each other, so again, that you aren't screwed.
But as you pass through, smaller and smaller towns, how often are they getting business? You really
That's
think
no,
they're
well,
gonna?
Tesla pays to get those installed in the businesses. That's why, like, even in mom and pop's yokel gas station, there'll just be like one stand with two chargers
There's
at the
ones being
corner.
installed like 20 miles from me, but like as of right now, for the past, however many years, Albany's the only place. You got 100 miles worth of driving just to go fill up and have a half tank for the rest of the week. Oh, wait, you need 100 miles to go back. Fuck, now you're on a cycle. It's just stupid, man. It really
That's
is.
when you need a home charger.
Yeah. And I don't think that you're not going to win over grandma and grandpa to go buy an electric vehicle by saying, hey, your electric bill is now going to be 3 times higher than what it is, just that way you don't have to buy gas. That's not going to be how many grandma and grandpas are going to sign off on that?
Yeah.
Other than like the hippies that were at fucking Woodstock.
Also, electric was supposed to be cheaper, and then it doesn't end up that way.
Well, not only does it end up that way, as it becomes a home thing, you're not getting the incentives to sit there and go charge it. So you're not getting free charging for 10 years or whatever. You're now charging it off of your electric grid. And the electric companies are charging higher percentages than they ever have. All three of the
Also,
companies that are in New York are
yeah.
like, I think, some of the highest companies in the country. And they're at like 400 or 500% increase. Their delivery fees are half of the price.
Well, and the
You're
insane part is if we stress the grid more by everyone converting to electric or even a significant amount, that's going to need more demand, and we don't even have the green to offset that. So now we're burning more coal for the electric vehicles as a green incentive. Why are people so stupid? Like I'd like
yeah.
my commie friend, his number one concern is the environment. Because if this is the only Earth we got, it's like okay, then why are we chopping down the Amazon rainforest to make way for a green summit? Why does none of this stuff make any sense? Why are conservatives the one that are okay with nuclear power?
Like I've heard really, really weird fucking shit recently. I've heard weird little conspiracy theories of like, oh, all of these solar panels that we're going to place in this field look ugly. So why are we going to do it? And it's like, this is the argument we're having. Place the fucking solar panels, lower our fucking electric bills. I'm so sick of this shit. This is fucking stupid. This is not the argument we should have.
No, the way I see that argument is like they tear down a forest to put up solar panels. It's like that
No,
doesn't sound green.
they're legitimately putting them in fields, and there are people on both sides of the fucking aisle saying, "Hey, we have pretty fucking pictures worth of places that we could stand at and we would see these and it would ruin our view. We don't want these
No,
here."
I've never
It's
seen
like,
that.
you're fucking idiots.
I think you're taking like the 0.1% of arguments, but when it's really just like they're actually causing harm to the environment that like, oh, this is a deer trail, this is the animal migratory path that they're going to put a solar farm on and fuck up everything, or they actually have to tear down a forest to put up a solar farm. And now
In
all
those
that stuff's
situations, I
going,
completely agree.
yeah. That's like 99% of it, not the
Yeah.
oh, this was actually a great place for it and people are crying. Those people don't matter. No one takes any of them seriously. It's the
Oh,
other ones.
it just, it's the lunacy on both sides that gravitate
Mhm.
to it. And that's the part that frustrates me is
When
like,
you also like wind
both sides are
turbines
stupid.
barely being a net like equal because oh you can't recycle them, they're made of fiberglass, they barely produce any as much energy as it costs to make them, and then they destroy the environment in like 20 different ways.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting. I remember learning in high school and middle school that like wind turbines were going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, there's no fucking way that that was ever going to be the thing.
So
Anybody
that's
who
what I mean.
thought
Like
that kind
why,
of didn't
like
understand.
when I talk to my friend, and it's like all about the environment. I'm like, why are we about why'd you fall for the wind turbine propaganda where these things are just now going to be waste and they only last 20 years and now we have a mountain of unrecyclable fiberglass that barely produced any of its energy, and if like one storm knocks them down, now they're like negative. Those things also take like incredible amounts of oil and stuff. It's like this is not green. This is like some made up billionaire went, oh yeah, this is a carbon plus 500 points per solar thing you put up, when in reality it's actually like worse carbon. It's like minus 300 points just for its existence. So it's wrong.
And
And then also billionaires bad. Elon Musk is bad, but when billionaires like Soros and Bill Gates say, "Oh, green," they're good. They're not evil at all.
it's just like everybody is just completely negligent to
Hmm.
understand exactly what the fuck they're saying. They just don't care. They're going to say whatever the fuck they feel like is
Regardless
meant.
of how true it is.
And it's just like they're going to hold on to it like it's fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like that's not what you
Well,
have to
actually, yeah,
do.
the commie, he actually says, like, there's no good billionaires. All billionaires are evil. Like, every single one, by default, you can never be a good person and make $1 billion ever, ever, never, ever. And that's like, okay, so then why are we listening to billionaires tell us about the environment? It's like, well,
Mhm.
that's their one thing. It's like, but they have no nefarious intention. Bill Gates investing in all these green things and then telling us like, oh, we need to replace everything with solar panels. He's not up to anything nefarious. He's only doing it for the good of his heart, and he's 100% correct. That's a benefit to the environment,
Yeah,
despite
like
being a billionaire.
the
Cognitive
one
dissonance.
argument I heard about billionaires that I actually fucking agree with is there's nobody in this world that actually works hard enough and works enough to logically be a billionaire. If that was your argument as a whole, completely understand. But it's not. It's not their fucking argument. It's not their
Hmm.
fucking argument that, hey, logically, nobody has put in enough man hours to equal that wage.
But that's
It's
also
like,
what economy is for. That if you make a
yeah,
product worth $1 billion and sell it, sure, you didn't work 10 million hours to achieve that, but you made $1 billion of value.
exactly. But like their argument is that these
Hmm.
people shouldn't be valued at that point. It's like, okay, so if your argument is their man hours do not equal $1 billion, yeah, I think most people fucking agree with you. I think most people would if
Hmm.
they explained it that way. But if you're saying, hey, the things that they've done are not
Hmm.
that valuable, you're fucking an idiot. Anybody who says Bill Gates is an idiot is stupid. He's probably one of the more intelligent people in the fucking world, which is why he made Microsoft, which is why he made the money that he made, which is why he actually has like shifted the way that the entire world fucking works. That's what happens when you make billions of dollars. You shift culture.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's hard to say because you can also stumble into $1 billion, like if you're really lucky and like just crazy investment opportunities happen. Like you make a company, you do a software startup in the 90s, and then you sell it for 100 mil, and then you just invest in like 20 projects, and two of them become $1 billion things, and that happens. And like you're not necessarily like hyper intelligent, you're just savvy. I don't know if that's also the same as smart to a degree. And then weird things can happen because like Bill Gates talks like an idiot when he's like, "Oh, farting cows are ending the world." That's a dumb person.
Yep.
Unless you're malicious, unless you're actually like a secret evil genius, and you say the stupid shit because idiots will believe you, and you're plotting. Like, yeah, because then to plot to make even more billions and then grow behind the scenes and do all that, you
Or
have
is
to
it,
have like a malicious intelligence to be successful. But he says stupid shit.
or it might not even be maliciousness. And this might be an interesting way for
It is
everybody to look at it
malicious.
too. I'm saying how I'm explaining
Hmm.
it. It could be, you know how like you talk down to people because you assume that they're just going to be less intelligent than you.
Hmm.
So like you explain something in the most dull fucking way that catches a thought, and then they're like, okay, that's what you meant. Oh, the cows farting change everything. Yeah, no, it's 1%. It's 2%, whatever it is. I don't remember the number. I
Hmm.
remember looking it up at some point. But it's like, okay, was that just like the headline to grab the people that don't understand? And he's explaining down to people because he's more intelligent than people. So he's explaining a stupid thing
You
as a
can't.
way to say, hey, there's
Yeah,
changes
but
everywhere.
that's what I mean. You can't like be wrong when talking down to people because then you look like an idiot. I don't think there's no smart
Absolutely.
way to wrongly talk down to people. I just say
I'm
that
just saying,
because
like, that's the other answer.
I just say that because you're malicious and you want your solar futures to pay out another $1 billion for you.
Oh, I think that's part of it too. I'm not going to
That's
say
what I mean.
that
Like,
I don't
are you
think that that's
smart
the
enough
answer
to
at
be
all.
that evil? Is more the thing, even though you say stupid stuff publicly, or is he just a moron that stumbled into it and then hired other suits that are super smart, making all of his money anyways? Where like the whole thing about the like Microsoft is also dubious with like Bill Gates inventing the internet, but he stole that from someone else, kind of thing. I think there was even a lawsuit kind of proving it at one point.
Yeah, it's all
Oh,
lunacy.
Mark
That's
Zuckerberg too. Like he just made Facebook. He was just some bum college dropout that made a social app with his friends. If Tom can make MySpace, then anyone above 80 IQ, maybe even 75 IQ, can make Facebook. And then he also ripped it off of someone else and had to pay that lawsuit, the Winklevoss twins. It's like,
mhm.
yeah, Mark Zuckerberg could actually just be an idiot billionaire that made a mid-tier program he stole from someone else and had to pay them for it. And then all the money from that attention is where he just took the money, even though he's a moron. I
Yeah,
think you can be an idiot billionaire easily.
oh, absolutely. I think that the way that they look at the world or the way they shift in how they're doing things is probably the reason why they're so successful.
No, that's when, like, again, like you stumble into something, and then when you get your accidental first 50 million, you actually pay smart people to do that. And sometimes they just steal your money, and then you never become a billionaire. Other times they get super evil, and then you have Microsoft and Facebook. But hey, you're a billionaire.
I wonder how many of them regret it. Like
None,
Mark
because they just
Zuckerberg,
keep doubling down.
like no, obviously, but like philosophically, when they get home and they have the conversation of, did I actually do good for the world? Yeah, I did good for myself, and everybody's set that has the last name Zuckerberg for the rest of eternity. But like, if you didn't make the world a better place, do you feel it?
Well, I don't think the idea was you make Facebook to make the world a better place. You just want a college networking app, and then, like, oh, it's actually evil, but I get to go parasailing tomorrow. I don't think you feel bad at that point.
I don't
Because
know.
you negotiated, like, at any point he could have pulled the brakes and be like, that's too evil. And then, like, Google, one of the things in Google, like, their internal doctrine was don't be evil. They removed that years ago. So like
That's
that was what held Google together was don't be evil, and then around that 2015 2016 dead internet spin, they removed don't be evil, and then they just decided to be evil. So at that when you remove don't be evil, you don't care anymore. You don't feel
well,
bad about what you're doing.
when we're talking about those two companies specifically, and them essentially being like ad agencies for selling all of our information and everything else.
And
because that's
developing, like they
yeah.
develop deliberately malicious algorithms. That is their business.
So there has been representatives now that have come forward and put forward bills to repeal the Patriot Act. I wonder how those two things are going to involve each other. Because I don't put it past Trump to sign that paperwork that the Patriot Act's going to be repealed. I don't put it past him at all. Do you?
Doesn't
He
he
does the weird thing that
outly
kind of just,
outly hate it though? Like, hasn't he actually said like Patriot Act bad?
I don't know. He kind of does say some things that, fit both narratives at both times. So I could understand where he would say both things. But I don't put it past him to sign that paper.
He does have strong national security support.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. With things like Google and Facebook now, they weren't around at that point.
Trump urges Republicans to vote against renewing surveillance powers, though.
Good. So it might actually go through. Does things like Facebook and Google cause a security risk then? If something like the Patriot Act and spying on us and all that information cause now a question. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see exactly what happens because personally, I could see where that would be a fucking fantastic thing. We haven't really done anything with it. We see it with all of the school bang bangs all the time. Oh, we had this person on our list. Those lists really don't do very much.
Mm-hmm.
Could they do very much? I could understand, that could be a question, but we'll never know how many times they've stopped people. That's not known, at least by the populace. It's just, it's interesting because does it actually change stuff like Facebook and Google? I don't think it's going to change everyday life, but something like Facebook or Google not being allowed to sell your data and information might thoroughly be interesting.
Is that directly in the repeal of the Patriot Act?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying though, is like
Like, I don't see how that
obviously,
snowballs. I don't think how anyone would allow, like, the lobbying would prevent that from being in there, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the Patriot Act.
so as far as I know, the Patriot Act was the availability for them to surveil people and look at people's phone records and
But that's
availability
just the
without
government. That's
having
not
warrants.
Google. That doesn't allow companies to do that. That just allows the government to go, hey, we saw something suspicious over on this ours. That's not, oh, Google, under the Patriot Act, we're storing your data. No, that's not how that works.
Oh, I'm not that retarded. I'm saying that I wonder if there is overlap to where it becomes a question then.
No,
Hey, the government can't even do this. You can't do this.
no,
Because
because
they
that's
are.
always data privacy has always been that way. In the 90s, they could just collect your data. That's what terms of service is. Every time you click accept, you are signing away your data. That would
Yeah.
be a separate bill unrelated to the Patriot Act that forbids that, which is one of the articles, section 59's,
Oh,
whatever,
I'm sure.
that never
I
gets
was just saying,
passed.
like it seems like a start to that kind of snowball. And he kind of has said fuck you to a lot of social media companies of like, oh, you're not allowed to take everybody's data and just sell it.
Yeah, nothing gets done.
Oh, I don't think anything gets done. I'm just saying that it's interesting with, the kind of standard he's had. I think it might actually get blocked and, get repealed. That would be interesting. Be interesting to see,
Yeah.
no NSA when you go to the fucking airport again. That'd be fucking weird.
I wouldn't feel safe. I feel like the world has gotten much more dangerous.
I don't think I would either.
Now we need it. That's actually we did it the wrong order. It's like now we actually need the NSA or TSA, and then I would feel better about it. But not, 2010. That's just unnecessary.
So obviously I haven't even told you about what the hell I did last week and what I dealt with last week.
Oh.
So I was drawing up legal documents all fucking week and putting together problems with my divorce. So my divorce went through last year from my ex-wife, and she decided not to include any monetary value, any non-marital assets, any assets at all. She said that it was going to be decided at a later date. She was just like signing the papers to get the divorce pushed through.
Okay.
So I went through and I drew up all the paperwork, got all the bank records and everything else because technically the settlement from my neck was a non-marital asset. Anything that I purchased with those non-marital assets were non-marital asset. Any of the money that she took after leaving and everything else were non-marital assets because it was from a settlement. So I draw up all the paperwork. It is as big as a fucking Harry Potter book. And I had it in a manila folder. And it was about this fucking thick with all the bank records, all of the domestic violence charges, and everything else. I go and bring it to the fucking courthouse after I signed my son up for school. And I bring it to the courthouse. And this fucking clerk, she's like, it's my first month. I'm like, I feel bad for you. She's like, I have no idea how to do this. I was like, awesome. So I'm going to be running back and forth in between the Supreme Court clerk and you. That's what you're telling me. So I'm going to be like a little errand boy running back and forth. So it ended up being that they had to take my entire summary because you have to write out an entire log of this is what she did, this is what they did, this is where the money was used and why it's a problem. And, hey, this should be paid back to me because it was not accepted. It was not available. Fuck you. And then you had to prove it. She had to copy, I think it was 1,400 pages or 1,200 pages worth of documents and scan it into the fucking court documentation paperwork and scan all of them as I was sitting there. She's like, I have to hand you back all of these fucking papers in order for you to serve her. I was like, oh, so I got to serve her today? She said, yeah, probably a good idea to serve her as soon as possible. So I sat in the courthouse for literally like 6 fucking hours. I sat in the courthouse from about noon until about 4:30-ish. I had enough time to go get pizza and then go pick up my daughter. So on the way to pick up my daughter, my brother-in-law looks at me because he came with me because I knew we were going to have to serve her and everything else. And after we finished eating pizza, he looks at me. He's like, so what pun are we going to use? I'm like, oh, dude, we got some good ones. I was like, this is a marriage, right? So we got here, take this. It's dangerous to go alone. Handing somebody divorce paperwork. I think that's hilarious. Sorry, his princess was in another castle, not this one, which is also hilarious. But he stuck with the 2000s movie, You Got Served. And I put the baby in the car and stuff. He looks at me. He's like, so it's raining. So how do you want me to do this? It's like, I don't know. Do you want my hoodie so that way, like, it's dry when you walk up the stairs and everything and hand it to her? He's like, no, I think I got a grocery bag in the back. So he goes in the back, grabs one of those plastic grocery bags. And he's fucking lost, even though I told him exactly where to go. Fucking hilarious. Walks up the stairs finally. And her new husband walks to the door. I think he probably thought it was me, which is fucking hilarious. The fact that he still has no idea what the fuck I look like. And my brother-in-law knocks on the door. He's like, so I'm here to speak to so-and-so. He's like, yeah, she's not coming to the door. Well, that's refusal, you fucking idiot. I could have just told him to get back in the car. And guess what? Whatever numbers on that paper and the court agrees to, you're going to be responsible for paying. Do we all understand this yet or not? Like, this is stupid.
I would have taken that.
I didn't. I wasn't a mean asshole because I wanted to see the responses. So my brother-in-law calls me. He's like, so the husband answered the door and he's refusing for your ex to come and grab the paperwork, the legal documents that I have in this bag. He's refusing for her to come grab them. Can I serve him?
Yeah,
I said, yeah, sure. He said, okay, bitch, you got served. And he hands him the paperwork and he starts going through it. This dude has zero idea of the DVs that she's done while with him on me, on other people, and everything else. Told him I was attempting to off myself when she broke into my house and assaulted me and another person and everything else. So I'm like, I wonder if this divorce motion is also going to cause another divorce because there's a very good chance. And I wish I was a fly on the wall. I wish I was a fly on the wall because do you know how funny it would be to listen to that fucking argument?
Yeah.
It would be fucking hilarious. You got served, bitch. Bye. And then just hear everything go crazy. But in this, me and my brother-in-law actually had a conversation about this on the way home. If your girlfriend was handed a 1,000-page document, legal document, handed to you at the door by a service for serving you paperwork, would you start going through it before she looked through it? If you were
That's
the one that was
a
home.
tough call because I would like to think that I'm one of those kinds of people that's like, no, I respect the privacy in that regard. But she's not coming up for it, but I know I know I won't. But it's one of those things like I'm thinking about the average person, whereas like, that's a mighty temptation to resist. Like I never look through the phone, I'd never read the DMs, I'd never do any
Yeah.
ratty sneaky stuff like that. But the papers of this, where it's just like, oh, your ex is handing you, and like he thinks it's you, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the other guy, huh? Why is
Why
there a
is he handing me
stake?
a Harry
Yeah,
Potter book?
exactly. It's like I'd take a peek. I just go to a random page and whatever's on that, I'd be like, very well.
Oh, the first page was just
Maybe
the
just the first page.
notification. But he started flipping through it.
Well, that's a bit like I do like a little bit. I wouldn't be like, what is all this? I'd just be like, interesting, honey.
While the second page says almost, no, over $100,000 of damages and problems. I would shit myself and I would be like, I'm locking myself in the bathroom. Go sit the fuck over there. Daddy has work to do now. Your ass didn't want to get up and handle this before. Now I guess it's my problem because the second that you get sued and this gets approved, he's coming after my ass because I'm the only one that legally can work. Because that's how judgments work. I legally get a judgment on you, and then I'm going to sue you because you're responsible now, buddy. That's
now your bank account with hers. That's your guys's, you two's. Also, that is like another thing. Like, if you are married and then like she's hiding problems to you to a degree, and then that arrives on your doorstep, it's like, well, how much are you actually just allowed to know about that? Like, personally, probably a lot. Where it's like, oh, this is now our problem. So these are my documents too. Let's take a peek.
Yep.
And you've already like I know you've already cleared all of this legally. Like you are allowed to say on this stream to the public what the dollar amount is.
Yeah, the dollar amount doesn't matter because the dollar amount's going to be decided by the court. Like
you can't,
I'm
but like
not
since
saying
it
what I'm
hasn't been
accusing her of.
decided yet, there's no like risk to saying I'm bluffing, not bluffing, but I'm asking this, and then
Oh,
the judge can disagree and say no, it's actually this.
I could have asked for about $250,000 total. I asked for just the non-marital assets and damages.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like you're allowed to say the ask even without a judgment. Just
Yeah,
triple,
non-marital
quadruple checking
assets
for my boy.
are guaranteed regardless, which is why she didn't want it available. And absolutely respect the whole just making sure you're okay. No, this has been one of the craziest things in my life. And honestly, I'm going to give everybody the guidance that I possibly can to make sure that they don't have to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
The quicker that you're able to stand up and say, hey, no, this is unacceptable, the better outcomes you have. Because some of it's fucking hell, man.
Yeah, and the weird thing to me is like I was looking up being served because I'm just like, I'm wondering like if actually no, so someone threw a fake ass lawsuit at me because it was like one of the kids I got caught cheating, and then his brother hired like a McLawyer, and then I got actually like served, and I was just kind of like, let me look up what serving is about. It's actually like crazy what like how little you actually need to do to successfully serve someone. Like if you knock on the door and they say I'm not here, like if there's any acknowledgement, if there's a peep on the other side that maybe someone is inside, as long as you say out loud, "You've been served," and there's even a chance they heard it, they have been successfully served. Like you just go, "You've been served," drop it, and if there's like confidence that someone was at the door, it's successful.
This is the part where I wasn't an asshole. And that's why I said it specifically. I could have said, no, if she doesn't want to come to the door and accept legal documentation, she doesn't.
Well, also, what I'm saying is like your brother could have just dropped it and said you've been served and walked away. They could have kicked that into the rain and they would have still been served. Those are still now their possession and their responsibility. Even
And
if he doesn't touch it, even if you drop it and they leaves it to mold into compost, he has still been served, and those are now valid.
and normally, as long as there's no legal ramifications for the paperwork that has been served, like legal charges,
Hmm.
whatever, you normally still have to provide the proof and go through the trial and everything else. If those people don't show up to that court date,
Hmm.
they're in default.
Yeah.
More than likely, they're going to hear you and just say, "This sounds about right."
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just kind of like, huh? There's no way to dodge it. Like, if there's a car in the driveway, they just say, "You've been served," and then they drop it, and that can count.
They told me that if she didn't come to the door, all I had to do was mail it.
That too, yeah. Like you make insured mail, so it's like that's going like if they don't sign for it, that means they were there and they've been served.
And this is the other part. They told me the other
That's also
option was
why
to,
people hire a serving company because they're like 100%. There's no dodging that. They will show up to
yeah,
your house until they see you in the window, and if they like the blinds shake a little bit, you've been served.
they've offered, they also told me, they offered me, they're like, "Hey, you could also have the sheriff for the
Hmm.
county come and serve it." I was like, "I don't want to do that in front of a kid. Like, that's not
While
okay."
that is true, but again, that's like the foolproof, like by the book. There is no denying that service. If she wants to hide to the cop, then the cop will say, "Okay, you're refusing. Bye."
Yeah, I could have been a big douchebag. I
I don't
could
think
have
that's
said,
being.
"Hey,
That's how you're supposed to do it. That's. I want to make sure there's no problems.
oh, absolutely." But it's a week right after the
And it
kid's
also
court
is
date.
funny
It's
that like
hilarious.
you can actually have anyone serve in your behalf. You can just get your brother to yell, "You've been served." Drop it at the door, and that counts. It's crazy.
The law is that if it is marital or a like actual problem,
Hmm.
you cannot do it by yourself. It has to be somebody who's over 18.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
That's it. I could have handed it to her dad and been like, "Yeah, go hand this," because that's what she did. She tried to come take my son after I received custody of him. It's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna send my dad," and I handed her back the same exact envelope she sent me paperwork with her dad. It's like, "Yeah, no,
Hmm.
fuck you, fuck you, and all this shit. It's all your fault." But yeah, it's been a wild fucking ride. Things have gone crazy, and I cannot wait to fully talk about them because, god damn it, it's gonna be sweet. I've released a little bit of the stuff with the mental health podcast and kind of going into like, talking about abuse and narcissistic abuse and stuff like that, and kind of explaining people how to deal with that shit because it's fucking hell. Just trying to get anybody to have that soundboard available to them to be able to heal this shit and kind of get past it. And this is more of it. Hey, keep going because guess what? It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay at some point.